About a month ago, I got to meet Andrew Yang. I got to shake his hand, and luckily, while he was on stage, I got to ask him a question. And one thing was very clear to me, or three things. He's smart, he's calm, and most importantly, he has perspective. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with Yang on everything. On the second night of the Democratic debates, the moderator asked everyone to raise their hands if they would allow illegal immigrants on their health care plan, the one that they were proposing. And every single one of them, including Andrew Yang, raised their hands. Now, in order for me to explain why I agree and support Yang, I need to get this big con out of the way for me. Now, again, it's obviously clear to me that in a perfect world, everyone's going to have perfect healthcare, but that's not the way the world is. And that is not the way our system works right now. If you are in a very undivided time, sure, go, great. Advocate for that. But you're facing Donald Trump. You don't understand the plight of middle America. And that was disappointing that Yang didn't understand that. Now, there are a couple of other things I don't agree with him with. But overall, besides those things, he's a man who gets it. Of all the 10 people up there, Yang understands that Trump did not win because of racism or bigotry or homophobia or all the buzzwords that people go on about. Yang understands that it is an economic question why Trump won. And why other candidates can't figure that out, I don't know. But Yang is the one who does. After the 2016 election, I thought the DNC would think, what is it that made Trump win? And what are the steps that we can take now to prevent him winning again in 2020? And yet it seems like every single one of them, besides Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, doubled down on all of the reasons that they tried to get elected in 2016. Yang understands that free college, and I gotta give Pete Buttigieg credit for this, is not going to solve the issue. Raising the minimum wage, like some of the other Democrats want to, and Andrew Yang is not part of it. But that's going to accelerate the automation. It's not going to help anyone, and it's going to hurt the people who Bernie and Elizabeth Warren are most trying to help. When I tell people that I'm for Andrew Yang, the question that always comes up is they're saying, how on earth would universal basic income work? And I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't like to speak on things that I really don't know a lot about. I know that Yang has talked about Alaska and it working pretty well there and reducing the income inequality. Would that happen on a national scale? I have no idea. And I'm not going to pretend to know. However, the question of whether he would be able to implement UBI or not is not the reason why I support him. Yang is great because of his perspective on why the country won. He has numbers for everything. His ideas are not fantastical like Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren basically says, I have a plan for that, I have a plan for that, I have a plan for this and this and this and this. But Yang has real plans that have possibilities of being passed. One of the small things, and I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this, that Yang has an idea for is the American Exchange Program. And what this would basically do is it would take kids just outside of high school, people like me, and plop them somewhere else in the country, give them a job, and basically expand their horizons. Now, if you started taking kids from blue states, plopping them in red states, and vice versa, I don't think people understand how much of a mental expansion that would be for my generation. My generation can be so incredibly closed off. If you don't know anyone my age, it's absurd. My generation is the one who requested safe spaces on campus. It's Generation Z. It's small things like that that Yang understands. The possibility of implementing that versus a universal basic income, well, UBI is probably not going to happen compared to the other one. But just things like that, it shows me that Yang basically is not here for a quick cash grab. He's not there to be in the public spotlight. He does it because he's the man for the job and he's the one that can get it done. He's not going to play Trump's tactics. I know that if it came down to it and Yang was the DNC nominee and he was one-on-one with Trump, Trump would go at him and Yang, bam, would have a perfect, calculated response. In fact, the people who want Obama back, why they're not yearning for Yang yet, go ask them. Because of all the candidates, again, you might not like Obama, but he was a pretty respectable character. Yang is the closest to that of all the candidates. Him and Tulsi Gabbard are calm and they just have perspective. And for me, that is why I support Andrew Yang.